Welcome to the Business of It All podcast presented by Fenestration Canada. I'm Cam Drew. Today we talk about membership in Fenestration Canada and the advantages it can bring to your company, whether it's residential or commercial. Our guests today are Stéphane Lebel, Executive Director, Lane Atkins, Operations Manager, and Terry Adamson, our Technical Director. Let's begin with Stéphane Lebel, discussing the advantages of the relationship we've created with the government and the resources that we've brought on board.
Now that we did hire a lobbyist firm, so that was a big step in our government relation, and that was also on top of now having Adrian Edge full time with us for government relation. So his first task he had to do was to deal with tariffs. So he started pretty pretty quickly there. That was pretty steep introduction. And then we realized, just having him to advocate for everything we push, plus what was happening with tariffs, like we felt, okay, like we need also a lobbyist firm, so that really helps. And on my side, we've been keeping in touch with government, with other stakeholders too. So that's really what I do on top of managing the whole association. But now we do have a department, and we also have a committee for advocacy that's going to come up in the next few months.
Now, as part of the membership of Fenestration Canada, members get the benefit of the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. There's 100,000 members with CFIB. Let's talk about the CFIB and Fenestration Canada.
Well, so with CFIB, for those who don't know CFIB, it's basically an association. It's a group of small to medium businesses working together. So it's very, very large group in Canada. They have a lot of push, if you will, a lot of influence. So a few years back, we thought, hey, we have a lot of members who are also CFIB members, which was a pretty good cost from what we could see. That would bring advantages, like, it goes from preferential prices on services all the way to advocacy, all the way to phone lines for, when there was COVID, like they had like a complete department just on that to call them and, okay, what do I do with this, with that? Same now with tariffs. So that's basically what they do with CFIB, and the partnership we have with them is pretty simple. As soon as you're a FenCan member, in good form, you're automatically a CFIB member. So you cut that cost. It's not going to cost you more money to be a member of both. So you get the value of both, and you also get us, in the background working with CFIB. So like we can now work with them on advocacy. They work with us. So it's a very, very good relationship. And you as a member will get the benefits, also, like kind of like the more the regular benefits, as I said, like preferential prices on services, credit card processing, insurance, all that type of stuff. But yeah, so that's the part for the member, and the part for the association is that we can kind of work together for advocacy, which was a big step.
Now, you've built a really strong team at Fenestration Canada. Could you introduce us to the team and their positions?
So, of course, we have kind of the people in front that you probably see all the time, like myself included, but like, Terry and Adrian on the technical side, Adrian also on the advocacy, government relations side. So these are the people that we see all the time, and we do like, webinars and all of that. Then you have Lane, of course, who's our operation managers. So you guys see her more during events and kind of in charge of the events, but she does way more than that. She does basically everything that's day to day here. She manages everything that needs to be done, really, like operations. Then after that, we have in-house people like Mario is not only our IT on site that you see during events, but is also kind of our IT here at the office. Puts the videos together, puts them online, and helps Lane in what she does. Now we added Lee, who's membership relations. So you probably, some of you might have had the chance to discuss with him. But Lee is not only in charge of membership, but also logistics, setting up all the meetings, taking the minutes, making sure everyone shows up on time, making sure we have all the documents. So that's what he does. Then on top of it, I mean, we have you, Cam, and on the membership side, and kind of like to do stuff like this to make sure that members, make sure they get the full potential of their membership. They really go and use everything. So we needed someone like you for that. We have Jeff Makimoto, who does kind of this a similar type of approach, but more of in person. So he's our representative most of the time. And when we attend trade shows as exhibitors, when we want to talk to our members, so you'll see him more at like glass building or booth or at Windoor. When we're at IBS, you might see him pop up. Fensterbow, it's all this stuff. So it's really kind of a membership relation. We have Rich, who's doing the same thing on the commercial, but also helps us a lot on the marketing side of things. But Jeff Gagavsek does mostly the technical part also with Terry, helps Terry and Adrian's team, and also is kind of our Quebec liaison, if you will, and helps that's in Quebec and does all the translation also for everything technical, that you might need a technical knowledge to be able to translate correctly and not just be like, okay, this is the translation. So that's what he does too. A good mentor and a good resource for us.
The association has historically supported the residential manufacturing industry, the sector, but recently it's grown to include commercial as well.
We decided to add the commercial chapter basically to our offering because it's something that was requested a lot. So we made sure that we had staff to really to really take care of that committee and that side of the business. So on top of it, one of the things that came up is that people wanted something more commercial focused in terms of trade show, in terms of events and education. So we've been giving education, month after month online, and then sometimes in person. But 2 years ago, we decided to start the Canadian Glazing Conference, CGC. Great success. 1 day event. It's always packed to the point that next year it's going to be our third year and we need to change location because the location we have is too small and it was not that small of a location. So that's really good news. Like we can see, it really picked up, and I feel like we really bring good services to that side of the industry. And also recently. Basically, we became the official Manitoba Association when Fenestration Manitoba decided to join, if you will, FenCan. So once we started that, one of the main thing they wanted to do is to make sure to bring back FenCon that had relative good success in the past. So we said, okay, no problem. And within a few months, we put together an event that was super well attended. That was a great success.
Now, there's no better time to be aligned with some U.S. counterparts, and you've reached out below the border and had a great relationship with the WDMA.
We entered a memorandum of understanding, which basically makes it that we can work together very closely within clear defined expectations. So, and that's something that really helped us right now, like with the tariffs, right? So, like we can work with them. They're directly in Washington. They're working day in day out on that stuff. So we were able to really kind of align ourselves and work together. So that's a really really good partnership that came about. That brings value not only for us but for them, and that also brings kind of clear guidelines when in a time like now that we need each other more than ever, I feel.
Thank you, Stefan. Let's talk to Terry Adamson, the technical director at Fenestration Canada. And Terry, you've had a lot of success with your tech talks that you've been producing.
So Tech Talks is an online webinar that we do. We try to do them monthly, scheduling out a few months in advance. They run about 1 hour, and we engage with a broad cross section of people, speakers, and topics, generally focused on things like codes and technical requirements of products. We've talked about testing, we've talked about certification, components, things like the WOCD, window opening control devices, that have been such a big topic in this last change since the NBC 2020. They're always great, really well attended, and it's a really quick, easy way to get some good informational content on the tech side of our business.
One of the strengths of Fenestration Canada and a membership at Fenestration Canada is the access to the committees.
There's key committees that really focus on technical, and of course, the Technical Services Committee is the main one. So that group meets twice a year at the AGM in the spring and at Windor in the fall. It has about 60 members, I think, that are actual members of that group. They focus on updating the industry on what's happening on the technical side of things like standards development, codes development, and other really technical aspects of challenges for our group. They've always been really well attended. We get great attendance at both of those meetings, and lots of really great feedback and interaction from the group on the updates that we get from, for example, George Torek, who has chaired the CSA A440 installation committee that's developing that new standard. He'll bring an update on where the standard's at, what's been talked about, and some of the challenges that they're faced with. So Tech Services Committee is the main one. Then we have the Manufacturers Council. They also meet twice a year, which is going to extend to 4 times a year. They're going to do 2 virtuals. And that's really, I don't know if I'd call it technically focused, but certainly it leans that way. And that's all about getting feedback from our manufacturer members on challenges to them, often technical challenges that group then works on to try and find solutions for our members.
So we talked to Stefan Labelle about aligning with the WDMA. Now you and Adrian are aligned with other groups as well to help benefit the members of Fenestration Canada.
For me specifically at this point, I'm on the Tech Services Committee with CACEA, CACEA. That's the Energy Advisors Association in Canada. And I participate with them and help them to understand the window industry and the challenges that EAs are faced with when it comes to dealing with window modeling, et cetera. I meet with myself and Adrian, actually, we meet with the Building Safety Standards branch in British Columbia every couple of months to find out what they're up to. We meet with the Ontario Building Officials Association and their technical interpretation group on what they're doing. Adrian, joining us in September of last year, has been a real support to me and my time commitments because he's taken on, as the Director of Codes and Regulatory Affairs, he now participates in all of the National Building Code Committee meetings that are relevant to fenestration, use and egress, the Standing Committee on Energy Efficiency. He's sitting in on all of those calls now, following up on code changes and code activity as we head into the next National Building Code that we'll see probably the end of this year. So a lot of activity outside of our group that we participate with.
So looking out over the landscape and what's coming our way, what's the focus for the technical side of Fenestration Canada for you and Adrian?
A big part of what Adrian and I do is all about trying to look ahead. And that can be really difficult. I mean, having a crystal ball as to what we're going to see, in a couple of code cycles away is very challenging. Those things change. Even right now, as we look at the NBC 2025 that's going to publish later this year, there's still ongoing committee conversations about that content. So it's extremely difficult, but we do the best we can. And we try to we try to look for those things that are going to be the biggest impacts and at least give our members a heads up that, hey, this conversation is going on and this is what could happen. And then as we see those things finalized, when you get into, the public comment periods and things really start to solidify, then we try to make sure that those changes are made clear to our membership. And things, the standards developments, NAF standard, there's changes coming there. Later in this year that we're going to see for NAF's 2026. Adrian is participating in the CGSB glass standards that are being updated. So again, watching for things that are going to impact our members, and then trying to make sure that we get, either news bulletins or tech talks or other types of communication out to the membership about those potential changes and confirmed changes.
Thank you, Terry. And other committees are the Events Committee, the Education Committee, the Hinged Door Committee, and Thermal Values Committee. So if you're a member, you can get more involved in that, or if you're thinking of becoming a member, those are some of the committees you could be involved with. Now, a large part of the value of your membership at Fenestration Canada is the networking. And here's Operations Manager Lane Adkins. Let's start with Windor, because that's the largest show in Canada of its kind.
It's our event where you would basically come together with a lot of networking opportunities, whether you do, like I said, take a booth, or you just want to walk the show floor. Either of those are really great opportunities. The show is 2 days, so you do have time to visit all of the exhibitors on the floor. If you're someone who's just attending to walk the floor, you can attend our education sessions, which go throughout the show as well. And then on the first night, the first evening of Windor, we always do a big event, and it's pretty much primarily networking, although we do have our Hall of Fame awards at that time, and we're really recognizing individuals within the industry. So it's half networking, a lot of fun, a way to really recognize those individuals, like I mentioned. And there's dancing, dinner, drinking. It's a really fun time.
For those members or potential members that haven't attended the spring AGM, it's a lot more than just an AGM. Lane, could you go into some detail about what happens at our spring AGM and conference?
So during our AGM, this is really I would say our most unique event. It's over pretty much a week, usually in May, at the end of May. So it's a really nice time wherever we're traveling. The spring conference, we will take it across Canada, so it's never in the same place. And it's a great way to come out and explore not only a new place if you've never been. For example, we've been to Halifax, Kananaskis, Kelowna. We'll be doing Quebec in 2026. And we did PEI. There's so many places that we've been and so many opportunities that we get to explore new places, which is great. But on the business side of things, it is a really great way to connect with people for such a solid amount of time. Like, you're seeing these people, the same people at breakfast, during education sessions, and at our social events in the evenings. And it's a nice way to come out. If you've never been to one of our events, I would say it's the easiest way to connect within the industry, make some industry colleagues and friends, or just see people you haven't seen in a long time. It's just such a great event, and everyone really, I think everybody really enjoys their time. It's a mix of education, it's a mix of offsite events, so things like pub crawls. We have our President's Dinner where we recognize the award winner for the year. We do an extended experience, which is primarily social. It is an extra day that you can add on to your conference registration, and basically wine tours. We've done golf, all sorts of different things, and it's just a really fun, laid back event. So if you want to connect with us in that way, we have our member pricing. We also have non-member pricing, so you don't have to be a member to come, but you can experience all of Fenestration Canada and what we have to offer over that week in a really great place, in a really great setting.
So which options are there then for regional participation?
We also offer our chapter events and connecting with your local chapter. So we have chapters in every province across Canada, and that is a really great way to connect with like-minded members, to join meetings and really contribute to the overall region, what's going on, and what we would like to offer as a group in that region for education, or whatever the case is. Maybe some of the groups don't want to offer education sessions at every one of their meetings. Some do. It's a really good mix, and it's really local.
And Lane, Fenestration Canada has been very aware of the importance of networking and supporting the members as they travel around to shows outside of Canada.
We have a variety of different networking opportunities in a variety of other shows. So in certain shows, we have partnerships with other organizations. For example, Fensterbouw. If you attend the show, we always do a mixer there. We have a booth. At Glassbuild, we also do a mixer. We have a booth. So Fenestration Canada is always present at industry events to make sure that we connect with members. We usually have some sort of dinner or mixer or something where we can get people involved and connected. And it's a great way because if you're traveling as a solo person, for example, Fensterbouw, it's a huge show. Could be intimidating to someone who's never attended. So you always have that backup wherever Fenestration Canada is. We'll welcome you at our booth, welcome you at our mixer. You don't need to be a member even to come join us at our mixer. You can bring a colleague. It's very informal, but it's a way for us to connect with the industry at other industry events. So we're always present. You should always see us at other events. And if you do see us and you're a member or a non-member, you can always come by, say hi. Our staff on site are always excited to say hi to you and welcome you to wherever we are.
You can't put a member fee value on the value that you'll get with the connections that you'll make. They've been, I mean, they're everything for me when I was in the manufacturing world and making those relationships, and just the participation. I mean, you can pay your dues and you can get value by the information that gets put out, but the real value is participating and meeting and networking and getting involved. That is, you can't put a dollar figure to that.
Well, you heard it from Lane, you heard it from Stefan, and you heard it from Terry. So if you're a member, we're hoping that you've found all the benefits, and if not, that this podcast has enlightened you to some benefits that you were not aware of. And if you're not a member, we hope you join us. Reach out to fenestrationcanada.ca and we can answer any questions you may have. Thanks for joining us today on the Business of It All podcast. I'm Cam Drew.